Welcome to IGCSE ICT, June 2021, Paper 2 Solutions on Database. We are actually going to solve a task on database, but specifically with regards to June 2021 question paper 2. So it's a continuation of the paper we've been solving on document production. So we are going to continue, and the evidence file we used in the previous video in this playlist is still going to be the same evidence file we are going to use in this particular video. So we are continuing because it's just a kind of it's just a single paper, but I want to disintegrate the solution approaches so that you don't find it difficult to navigate and maybe trace which one is actually solving a particular question. It will be easier for you to approach this in this manner when you can work separately on document production, separately on database, separately on mail merge, separately on web authoring. So that is the idea behind this. So I'm trying to bring this separately so that that will be easier for people to work on. By the way, if you don't have the source file and you would like to actually experiment, it's always good you experiment. I would like you to drop a comment in the comment box, then I will have to revert back with a guideline on how to get the source file. I encourage you to also subscribe to this channel so that once new videos are dropped in, you should be able to have access to those videos, because these videos will be very helpful as long as your success is concerned in IGCSE examination. So without any further ado, I would like to jump straight to the task document. Task 3 on database. You are now going to prepare some reports. These are to be imported in the format of day, month, year. Using a suitable database package, import J2121 athlete.csv. So these are the field names and data types you are going to use while solving yours, because I'm going to put you through a whole lot of things that you need to get started. So the first thing I have to do is to create a kind of database. I have created a database here already to work with, just a kind of access database file. So if you want to create yours, you can go over here, right click and go to new if you're using Windows, and you can use this, then give it a name. I have chosen Athlete June 2021 just for convenience. You can as well choose yours, anyone you feel comfortable choosing, you can choose, but for me, I think I'm okay with this one. So I will quickly open this particular database, and here it is open now. The next thing I'm to do is to import this particular file. So to import this file, what I'm going to do, I will go over to external data tab and select text file, then go to browse my file to know where it is. So my file is here, J2121 athlete, and then I will click OK, move on. Now don't forget to select this particular, to check this box. First row contains field names. This allows you to identify the first row to be the field names, just like pointing towards the records that you have in the table. So this one is going to give each field a name. Like this is last name, contains all the last names and first name and so on and so forth. So I will go over to the next one, and again here at this point I am going to work on the data types. Last name text, first name text, the athlete ID number. Let me check whether everything is consistent. Text, first name text, you can see the data type here. this is number, long integer, and this is text. Okay. YOB number, gender is text. YOB is number, gender is text. So everything is looking nice. I will just navigate. Okay. Do I have any other thing left that I didn't do? Okay, I think I got everything correctly. So now set the outlet ID field as a primary key. To set this as a primary key, I will come here, choose my own primary key. Outlet ID should be my primary key. So next. Okay, now at this point, I like to prepend the table name with the TBL, just a conventional way of identifying that this is a table. It does not really matter anyway, so you can give yours just any name you like, but make sure the name you are giving it is appropriate for it, just for you to be able to remember. Then I'll click finish to conclude this importation of table. So go over here. Now my table is set. Because I don't need to do anything with it now, I can close it. Then I will navigate to the next option that I have. I'm going to import this particular file, J2121 events, as a new table in my database. So I will just go straight down to the database and also import events. Okay, alright. So just the same way we imported the other one, I will navigate. Always check this box, very important. Then go over here. At this point, I will have to set my data types. The first three are text. 1, 2, 3 are text. This one is date. Okay, it's stay consistent. Okay, now swim M up to air temp are numbers. Swim M by okay, yeah, water temp and numbers. What's okay? Air temp and numbers. Then this particular one is supposed to be yes or no. That is what suits. Okay, I've selected yes or no, but I will have to make sure that it's well formatted afterwards. So race director is text and IOC code is text. Race director, text, IOC, text. So later I will have to come back to this and make sure that everything is well formatted. Next, do I have a primary key? I will have to choose event ID, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, event ID is my primary key. Always make sure you choose yours. So I will continue, and as usual, TBL as my prefix, just to remind me it's a table. But you have to take note of this, that every table you created is always categorized on the table. If you create a query, you have a different category query as well as report or form. So I'm going to continue to the next task. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to import the third table, that's the results table. I will quickly do the same thing I've been doing, and this time around I'm going to pick results and continue like that. First, at this point I will select the first text, number. So always make sure you follow through. This one is text, this is number, this is number. Okay, and this is time is consistent with what we have here. So run is always here. Up to run, all of them are time. Okay, very good. The data types are time, and outcome should be text, position number, good, and the last one is also time. Very correct. So at this point I will go over to the next one. Do I have a primary key? You have to be sure of this. Now do not set a primary key. So this particular table does not require a primary key. I will just come over here and make sure that there is no primary key. Next. Then TBL as usual, TBL. just make sure you follow the steps, and you should be able to get everything clearly sorted out. Alright, so this is okay now. Everything is looking nice. Events, this one, and outlets too. Okay, so I think I should have given this one to this. I should have brought it somewhere. It doesn't really matter anyway. So let's continue. The evidence for place in your evidence document screenshot showing the primary key field names and data types used in all three tables. So to display the primary key and field names or the details of the design, I will have to switch to design view of the individual tables. So over here I will begin with the first one, which is outlets, and I will go over to home, and here I have design view. So print screen, if you don't know how to print screen, you just have to ask me in the comment box, then I will guide you on how to do that. But I encourage you to watch my videos on data analysis, because this particular video or this series of videos are meant to guide you on how to execute the task, but not a robust tutorial on how to do data analysis. So I encourage you to still watch the data analysis videos, and if you have any question, you can always ask in the comment box. Okay, so here I am going to copy, and I will go over to my evidence file and paste what I've just copied. Okay, so this is for the first table. As you can see, you have everything you need, but the primary key, everything is here now. Alright, so I will go over to the next one, which has to do with events, and switch to design view. Print again, I'll print screen, and I have to draw it from this point just to show that I have these three other tables. It might not be necessary. The only thing that's necessary is this, but these ones are just an added advantage for you. So I'm going to paste this here and move on to the next one. And the third one is results. Switch to design and print screen. Do the same thing again here, and copy, then paste here. Alright, then save. Alright, so at this point we have saved the evidence. We have to continue with the rest of the task. Okay, create a one-to-many relationships as links between this. Now, before you create any kind of relationship, you make sure that all the tables that are involved in your relationships are closed. How do you do that? You come over here and make sure that every tab that is here is closed. So you just close all. So everything is closed now. And to create a relationship, you come over here to database tools, and under relationships you have relationship. So I have everything needed. Assuming you do not have anything, you can show all table, then you pick them one after the other. Okay, so if you want to show table, you can just come here, then you pick the table, you add, but mine has already been added, so I have to leave it as this. Alright, for now. Okay, now I have a one-to-many relationship between outlet table and the result table. Now the field that is linking this relationship is the outlet field on both tables. So I'm going to take from this outlet table all the way to result table outlet ID. At this point, you check this enforce referential integrity and create. Okay, so it's done. As you can see, we have one-to-many relationship. This infinity sign means many relationship, because you don't know how many there are. So that is why you have to, associate it to this kind of sign, okay, or symbol. Alright, let's continue. We have another one. We have event ID is a linking attribute between event table and the result table. So event ID, the linking attribute, and on the event table. So this is the event table. We have event ID here, should be linked with this. So I'll go over here and drag it up to this point, release, enforce referential integrity, and create. So as you can see, again, this is one-to-many relationship. Very important, you have to do this. And I will go on. My fifth document is to get a screenshot of the type of relationship between the three tables. So while this is still shown here, I will just print screen, okay, and take a snapshot of this from this point, and then copy, paste it in my fifth, as my fifth evidence, okay, and save the evidence file again. Anytime you update any particular file, always make sure that you save, but you have to save appropriately with the name that is required. Do not save any task with a previous task name. Save it with the current name of the task you're working on. You will get to know this when you work on a series of tasks that we ask you, especially in data analysis, that we ask you to save this, open the previous task and save as this and all of those things. So we are going to get to that point in a short while, but for now let's just continue with this particular one. Having done this, the next thing I'm to do here is to enter the following details as a new record in the applet table. So it means that I do not have anything to do with this. I'm going to save it, of course. Then open my applet table by double clicking. Then go to the last record. The last record of it. Okay. Now this is the last record. Below it, that is where I'm going to start entering all these details. That is Lee Sophia 15310. Lee Sophia 15310. And where does she stay? NZL 1982 female. NZL 1982. Oh, 1982. I don't know why I have to write this. 1982 female. Okay. Alright, now save this and continue. I've checked that there are no errors, although an error was occurred and I had to take care of it. In the results table, locate the record with applet ID, this event. Okay, applet ID 15318. That is in the result table. So I'm going to open the result table now. Okay, 15318 should be somewhere here. Okay, we have about 15318 here, but this is the actual one we are looking for because it has this MX321085, as you can see here. MX, as you can see it here. So, and we are going to change swim to this. So for me, I'll simply copy this and paste it there on the swim. Alright, swim is where, swim is somewhere here. Okay, paste it. And the next one should be this. The next one, is it T1? Yeah, T1. Then position is 1. Position is 1. Am I done? Okay, so I will save. Anytime you make any kind of updates, you make sure that you save. Alright, user fields from all tables produce a tabular report that selects the records where location includes the text HAM, nationality is AUS or NCL, outcome is complete, shows only the fields, first name, last name, YOB, nationality, location, outcome, and position in this order. Okay, now in this case, before we can create this kind of report, what we need to do first is to create a query, because the query is going to search for the records according to this criteria. So all these criteria are very necessary before the report can be created. So we now use the generated query to generate yet our report. So that is what we are going to do. That's the approach here. So first we design a query, and the title of our query should be Oceania results. Okay, I will just copy it, because once I get started with getting the query, meanwhile, before you do anything, make sure you close everything, you save first and close all. Okay, so I will just start by creating a query here using a query wizard query. So it's going to be a simple query, and I'm concentrating. I have some kind of things I'm supposed to display in order: first name, last name, YOB, nationality, location, and so on and so forth. Let me just start with first name. You have to pick first name, then use this to take it to the right. That's selected query, to select it, and this one also. And what again? I think I have nationality. Auto athlete ID is not needed. So I will select another table to know whether I have other things. Events. Do I have any other thing? Location is an event, and outcome. Location, take it here. Do I have outcome here? Outcome is not here. I'll select the third table here. And where do I have outcome? Okay, I have outcome here, and I think I have position to be the last thing. Position. Okay, so I will go to the next step, and of course next. Now at this point, because I'm creating a query, I like to prepend before the name of the query. I think I have a name for the query anyways, so I would like to prepend QRY, just to remind me that it's a query. Okay, so at this point I have Oceania, and I will have to modify afterwards. Finish. Okay, it's looking very nice at this point, but we are not done. We are just trying to get started. We are now going to implement the location, which includes ham. So to implement the location, which includes ham, okay, if for instance I am to run this query just to view it, I have everything here. You can see location is just all locations are included here. But to go to the design view to filter what location I have, just like any kind of location that will have HAM, okay, in it, it does not matter whether the HAM is at the beginning or at the end or at the middle, so it must have HAM. So for me to do this, I will enclose within double quotes, okay, another wildcard called asterisk, double asterisk, both ways, because it has to contain HAM. So just take note of how this looks like here. Okay, it's very important that you have to take note of this. Okay, I have asterisk. Okay, now look at what I typed here. I'm going to show you in a yet larger font. Okay, this is the exact function, exact formula that I type here. I'm just going to enlarge it for you to see that it is you have to first enclose everything within double quotation mark. Then within the double quotation mark, you have yet the wildcard, which is the asterisk. So asterisk is a wildcard, and it just shows up like this. So as you can see, this is the exact thing that I typed in there. Alright, so very important, you have to take note of them. okay, at this point. Okay, let's just continue. That's by the way. And when I run this, I should see only the filtered ones. As you can see, you have ham everywhere. Ham, 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 ham. So all the things in location are containing ham. There's nothing else that is there except the ones that contain ham. Then the nationality is AUS or NCL. So we are going to make use of logical OR statement in this case. How do we apply it? Just by coming to nationality under the criteria in the criteria row, and you enclose within double quotes. What do we have there? We have AUS and NZL. AUS, you enclose it within double quotes, or you type or literally, or then you have another double quote open, then NZL, NZL, double quote closes. Then when we run this, we should also see everything we are looking for. You have only nationality, two nationalities, records that have two nationalities represented here. So as you can see, so we are not done with this particularly. So we are going to continue with outcome is complete. Outcome has to be complete. So we go over here and make sure that our outcome is complete. Not like we have any other thing except complete. Always make sure you enclose within double quotes. So at this point, I think everything is now complete, as you can see. Okay, now it shows only the fields, this, in order, source the data. Okay, now that we are done with this particular query creation, we are going to use our query to create even the report, because that is the end point. To create a report, you select this, or you simply go to create and use the report wizard over here to start creating your report. What do I want to create reports on? I want to create reports on all these things that have been in my query. Remember, Oceania results is the query, okay? So here, I will go to next, and be mindful of this particular stage where you have indented box over here. You are not supposed to have this indented. They are all supposed to be of the same level, so you have to pick the second one to make sure that everything is of the same level. Go to next, and we are not grouping because the instruction has not asked us to group. Then I think we have to ascend. Okay, we have to sort into ascending order of nationality and ascending order of position. So position and nationality have to, be sorted in ascending order. Position first, nationality, okay, all ascending. Okay, go to next. Tabular. What is our, okay, feeds on a single page, includes only the Oceania. Now this is going to be of orientation portrait, so it's there, and includes only this as a title at the top of the page. All right, this is the only title at the top of the page, and you have your name, center number, and candidate number on the report. So we are still going to write this somewhere. We go over to next. Then we have to modify, because we need to work on some things in the design view. That is why I picked modify anyways. So as you can see here, the title is visible here already, but this is not the actual title that I need. I need something like this to show up as the title. Okay, so I might not need to format this like anything, but just to make it to look something like somehow clear, I will just make it bold and just that, something simpler. And because it's a title, I can actually make it 24 and expand it, enlarge. Okay, so let me just enlarge it to be like this, and I will make sure I centralize it since it's simply a title. Alright, so it does not really matter how you format your title, because what matters here is that the title, the appropriate title, is here at the top of the page. So this is the top of the page and it is here at the top of the page. So that is the basic thing that matters. Now we continue with the next thing: your name, center number, and the candidate number on the report. So yet under this particular, we can actually do this immediately under Oshonia, where we have our name. So for you to do that, you have to create a space by using this arrow here. Okay, you drag it down to just create a space. Go over to design and pick a label. The label will be a kind of a control on a certain object. So the label will give me this kind of control. Then I'll write my name. My name is John Doe. Okay, and center number. So you write your center number somewhere here, and candidate number. Okay, so you write your actual details on the examination day based on the instruction you are given. So at this point, I think I'm actually done with this. What I'm going to do next is that I am going to bring this up a bit. Okay, yeah, just like twitching things around. And okay, go to format, bold, and make it black. Alright, so I can actually underline anyways, so it does not really matter. So now that I am done with this particular one, what should I do next? Now you are asked to save your report and print it out. On your test day, you are supposed to carry out this explicit instruction, and you should be provided in your center this the facility to execute this kind of instruction. But for now, I am not printing anything. I'm going to continue with the 20th instruction of the same task. So this instruction asks me to use fields from all tables to produce a tabular report that selects the records where position is more than 0 and 5 or less, then gender is female. So basically it tells me, it takes me back to what I said earlier, that we have to first approach this by creating a query. Afterwards, we create a report using the same query we've created. So what will be the title of this? Is going to be Top Female Athletes. Okay, that will be the title of the query we are going to create. We are going to create a query around this criteria. Okay, so creating this query now, I will go over to this point. Before you create any query, you make sure that everything is looking nice and that you have closed everywhere. You create a query with all the data in all the 3 tables, but we have certain data that is needed. Okay, so we have to come over here to check what is required. Shows only the following fields. So we have field name, last name, location, and so on. So we pick them one after the other. First name first, then last name second. Okay, so what's the next thing? Location, swim. Do we have location here? No. We go to another table. Always make sure you pick table. Don't touch this query. Okay, so we go over to the next table, which is events. Do we have a location? Yes, we pick location because that's the third thing we are supposed to work on. Swim, T1 bike. So we don't have swim here, we have swim M, which is different from what we are looking for. So we go over to results and we have swim T1 bike, okay. Do we have T2 there? Yeah, T2 run, T2 run, alright. And again, we have, what again do we have? Wetsuit total. Okay, now before we continue, I think the wetsuit is supposed to be of a particular file. Just a wetsuit on the results is supposed to take a particular data type. Wetsuit. Wetsuit. Is wetsuit not here? Wetsuit. Where is wetsuit? Wetsuit. Okay, wetsuit. Yes or no? So the format should be yes or no. Very important. Yes or no. There you save. Okay. So this is looking nice now. Then you close everything. Close all. Okay. Okay, very good. So at this point we continue. Sorry about that, I just forgot. We should have done this before proceeding with our screenshots, but now that you know, you just have to revisit it over and over again and make the necessary corrections. Okay. Alright, so here we are still on the query, and we want to create a query. First name should come in first, then last name, then location is under this. After location, what should come next? We have swing T1 bike, which is under the third table. Swim, yeah, T1 bike, T2. Do we have run there? Run wetsuit. Run wetsuit is not here, so let's look for wetsuit in outlets. Okay, no. Wetsuit in events. Wetsuit in events. Where is wetsuit? Oh wait, is it wetsuit? Yes. Where is wetsuit? Where did I find wetsuit? That's where I'll be. Okay. Wetsuit. Okay. Here we go. Wetsuit. Then what again? Total transition. Now this total transition we have to be created afterwards, and then position. We could have done, we have to select position first, then when we are doing when we are formatting our report, we should be able to swap the position of these two. So, but for now, we have to, just for convenience, make this to be the last thing. You will see the reason why I've chosen it, but for now, let's go over to position. Position should be results. Okay, that's the last one there, and we'll continue. Next. Alright, now at this point I'm going to choose, because it's a query, I will use QRY female, top female triathletes. Then I will modify because I'm not done. This is where I'm going to work on certain criteria. Alright, now before I work on any criteria, what I'm going to do is that first I'm going to, okay, let me just work on this criteria, then step by step we'll cut across the rest. Position is more than 0 and 5 or less, so it should be greater than 0 but less than or equal to 5. So how do we implement this? Under the position field in the design view of your query, where is the position field? It should be somewhere here. Yeah. Now we have the criteria row. In the criteria row, you have to impute the formula. We have less than 0. Sorry, I think, is it less than 0? What? Is more than 0, greater than 0, okay, and is and less than or equal to 5. Okay, now I just want us to be looking at this so we can have the position, everything is consistent based on the choice we have made. So we switch our view and continue, and we go over to the next one. Gender is female. They all have to be female. Alright, so under the gender column, where is gender column? Okay, we do not have any gender column. We are not going to show gender column. Okay, let me pick a table on the applets, the gender column. Good, but I don't want to show it because it's not supposed to be shown, but the criteria will work even without being shown. So because female is text, we have to enclose it within double quotes. Okay, then we run and check whether everything is consistent. Okay, we can't actually see the field anyway. So, but if for instance I go here to just check the field, I should see something like a female author, as you can see. But I don't want the female to show. I will uncheck this particular box. Okay. Alright, so at this point, what I'm going to do is that I will work on this, the total transition, okay, which is calculated at runtime to add the contents of T1 and T2. So this is going to be calculated at runtime. It shows that you never specified it, so we have to calculate it at runtime somewhere here. And I'm going to paste it like this, and after it, because it's a variable, I'm not enclosing it within double quotes. I will type in colon, then square brackets, T1, close square bracket, then plus, open square bracket, T2, and close it. So this is how it should look like. Then we have to show it, of course. So we have to show it, and we run. We should have something shown here. As you can see, it's just an addition of T1 and T2. Everything is added up here to give you what you can see here. So basically, I think it's looking very nice for now. You have T1 3 then T2 2 so 5 over there. So that is how it's added. We are going to continue with the next instruction over here. Okay, I think we are almost done with this. Yes, so everything is okay. It's looking nice. Alright, so now what we are going to do is that we are going to now work on our report. So we save this and close this particular thing, work on the report that will show us this top female threadlet. Remember, it's looking like this. Okay, so but we have to close it for now. To work on the report, we go to create report and use the report wizard. Okay, it is already selected. What do I want over here? I want this to be shown. I want first name, last name, location, swim, T1 bike, T2 run, okay, and wetsuit position. This other one should have come before. Wetsuit, total transition should come before, but never mind, we are going to work on this later on. when we are designing our report. Okay, now at this particular point, you make sure that this box is not indented by picking the second one, so they are all at the same level, and we don't need any grouping. We go to next, and over here, what should we do? Are we supposed to arrange based on are we supposed to sort in ascending order or not? Okay, sort the data into ascending order of position. Okay, descending order of position. So we are going to sort it. The position will be in descending order. You check this and you move on. It's going to be in landscape. As you can see here, it's supposed to be in landscape. Okay, here. Now, fees on a single page includes only the text, this as the title. So we are going to include this as the title afterwards. Okay, all right. So we continue, and here we are going to write a report. Because it's a report RPO, normally use RPO, although I didn't use it in the other one, but it does not really matter. Or better still, I can just leave it the way it is. Anyway, let me just use it for conventional convenience. Okay, so I have a RPO top. You must not save with the same name as I am saving mine. It's just for my own convenience. But if you are asked to save with specific name, endeavor to do that also. So you can choose any name you think you can remember. So it does not really matter that you choose the name that I've given you. So basically, this is the title, and I'm going to make sure that this is top female athletes. So that is going to be the title, and I'll pick it up to this point, and enlarge it. Okay, then go to format and make sure it's centralized, and make it black, and make it even bigger, maybe something like 24. Okay, think it's looking more like a big title now. And the next thing I'm going to do is I have to calculate this the number of records, and write this beside it. But before I do that, it is always important that I ensure that everything fits in the page, because I think I have such instruction to make sure that everything fits. Okay, look at it here. Fits on a single page wide. So if I should view this, I will notice that everything is not showing very clearly. You see, you can see all those things. So in that case, even this position is not showing clearly. So I have to just move things around to make sure that things are showing and have been displayed with the utmost clarity. So to do that, I will switch to my design view and try to take things around. So the first thing I'm going to do, I will select this box and this one at the same time by holding Control button, then pressing them. So I will shrink this to this point. Okay, and I will now hold this one while pressing and holding my Control button. I will click on this and then release, then drag, use my mouse to drag up to this point just to get me this view. Okay, so I think I'm done with this particular one now, but what I need now is that I need to shrink here towards the left. I need to shrink like this, and I also need to shrink this one. After shrinking this, I should move it to the left using the back arrow key on the keyboard. Alright, then take this one at the same time, do the same thing. I just have to be fast because I presume you should know how to do this by now. If you don't know, I encourage you to watch my video on data analysis, and you make sure you subscribe so that subsequent videos you shall be able to gain access to new uploads, and anything that comes on you should be alerted before time. So yeah, this is the swim time. We don't have I think this one has to be a little bit wider, and we shrink this because it's not supposed to be too wide, since the data it contains is just like 3 letters or something. So we take this one to the left here, and I think it's making sense now. Okay, I'm just trying to take things around. Okay, just figuring things out here and making sure that everything is well aligned. Okay, take this and bring it closer and take it towards the right. Okay, bring this, bring this, bring this, bring this. Okay, now remember the ordering format that we were supposed to implement initially, where the total comes before the position, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so this comes here, this comes on board here. Alright, then this one will be enlarged up to this point, and of course this should be enlarged towards the left and should be taken towards the left too. You have to enlarge until you see something clear enough. So I think I can see something clear enough here. Okay, alright, so I will take this one and also enlarge until I see something clear enough. So I will take it as closely as possible so it will give me a better view. Alright, do I have what I need? Let's check. Okay, it seems like everything is well. Okay, very good. So everything is been declared very well, appropriately. Alright, so it's occupying one page. One page, one page, one page, one page, one page. Alright, now this has to come before this, remember? We have, I think we should have something like position. Position should be the last thing there and not it shouldn't be taken to the left. Okay. Now position being the last, we have to come over here. Okay, position needs to be the last thing. Towards the last, you just use the right arrow key to navigate towards the right. Okay, at this point it's just here, then take this one and the rest slice towards the left, just at the same time for consistency. Okay, what did I do? I didn't highlight appropriately. I just removed. Okay, I will just have to take my time to do this. Okay, and I also encourage you to take your time to do the same thing, because I need to shift it away to avoid overlapping. Okay, alright, let's see whether it's there. Yeah, now this is the position that is required. You save, go over here. Okay, now everything is looking nice now. It's looking nicely. Alright, it's looking very nice at this point. So the next thing I'm gonna do now is to just make sure you follow through with all the things that the instruction states you should do. Then every other thing should be clear enough. If we are to be right, so at this point we have maintained all that we need for this particular one, and the next thing we are going to do is to do we include the title? We include the title. The title is over there, but the name, that is your name, has to come in also. So display only your name, center number, and candidate number in the footer. So this is in the footer, so it appears in the same space, in the same position on every page. So how do you make it to appear in the same position on every page? So I'm going to show you right now. It's very, very important. You have to adhere to all these instructions. They are very necessary, because if you're able to adhere to the instructions, the rest is actually history. Now notice there are two footers here. We have the report footer and you have the page footer. So you should concentrate more on the page footer. Okay, so to drag this downwards so you see more space for the page footer. I don't actually need this because I was not asked to do any other thing. Display only your name. That is only your name. Make sure no other data is displayed in the footer. So I'm going to delete this using the delete key, and I'm also going to delete this. So here, what I'm going to do, use the label button and create a label box here to write your name. Okay, so at this point you can write your name, whatever your name is. So I am using John Doe, and your candidate's number, sorry, center number, then candidate number. Okay, so at this point now you've just written your name, and you can format it to be a little bit bigger, maybe 14, and make it black and bold so it will be clear enough. So it should be showing on every page if you have multiple pages. Okay, alright, now the next thing I'm going to do here is that I think that should be the final thing I'm supposed to do afterward, is to calculate the number of data records shown in this table first. Okay, then I will use this label. So I'm going to actually create another label to calculate the sum of all the total of all the records. So to calculate the total of all the records, make sure you are in the report footer. Do not do this in the page footer because you will get an error. So you make sure you do it in the report footer when you want to do make use of this particular function. So first thing I'm going to do, I will go over to design and come over here to my label, create a label. The label is just to guide me to label whatever I'm doing. It's not actually, that much of focus something. So at this point, now that I have my label, I have to actually do the needful by knowing, by counting or calculating the number of records, for all this. So how do I do this? I will go over to design again, get my text object. Okay, I'll get a text box. This text box is going to hold the number itself. So this particular text box will hold the number that I have to work on. So how do I make use of this particular thing? I will go over to this control source and click on this ellipsis, then come over here, type my function equals count. Is going to count. Make sure you pick the second one. Okay, so count. What am I counting? Everything. Use asterisk. There's a white card for everything here. Then okay. Alright, so at this point I've done this just now. Okay, and I will go and save, then view this. Let's see how it looks like anyways. So with that, it gives me the count towards the left of it. So as you can see, this is number of competitors and this is John Doe in your footer. Very important. And you can see the records are 39. If yours is not 39, then you didn't do it correctly. You have to check your query and redo the query aspect of this. Okay, so you make sure you save your work. At any point in time that you make any changes, you make sure that you save your work. Alright, okay, again you are asked to print out, but I'm not going to do that. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate the total number of competitors. Okay, so I can still place my screenshot showing the formula. Let me just type the formula here, or you can also reference the formula. Let me reference the formula. I think for you here, I will go over to my design view and click on this box, then go over here and down print screen. If you print screen, good, then you can take it from here. So this is okay. You copy and you paste it in evidence 5. You paste it as is it evidence 6, yeah. Then you save. So if you follow through with the rest of this, I think everything should be okay, and it should just work fine. You have yours looking nicely as mine. As you can see, everything is well formatted. The total transition came before the position because I had to reposition it. So these things take practicing. As you're watching the videos, you make sure you also practice. You walk along. Practicing leads to perfection. If you do not practice, it will look so vague and something ambiguous that you cannot try and get through it. So I want you to do your best to practice. In our next video, we shall continue with the mail merge, and I wish you all the best, and make sure you subscribe so that you will know when this particular video is uploaded. As soon as you watch this, you subscribe to the channel, and once any video is uploaded, you will be be the first to know. Okay, so at this point, I encourage you to to practice on your own. And if you don't have the source file, you have all the time in the world to communicate, and I will revert back with the guideline and clue on how to get there. I'll support you with the source file anyways. So have a nice time. I hope to have you around in my next video.